Hey there, quirky folks! I'm your host, Anna, and today we're going to do a bit of comparison video between Daemon Targaryen and Jon Snow. These are two of the bravest characters in the entire live-action Game of Thrones lore. They have quite a few similarities, but you'd agree with the fact that they are very, very different from each other. Before we pit them against one another, let's look at the parallels between these two leads. Everyone roots for them because of Kit Harington and Matt Smith's epic portrayal of their respective characters. But their major similarity comes in terms of their fighting spirit and skills. And this was majorly spotted in episode 3. Both Daemon and Jon Snow literally stood tall and fought against entire armies alone. Jon Snow also went running into raining arrows, and so did Daemon. Jon had his Valyrian steel sword Longclaw, and Daemon fought with his Valyrian steel sword, the Dark Sister. Here, take a look at how Jon Snow went completely berserk during the battle. Now check out Daemon's madness. Ultimately, Jon was saved by his army and the Knights of Vale. And Daemon was saved by the Velaryon army. Then he chased after the crab feeder and defeated him pretty easily, while Jon chased after Ramsay and took him down without any difficulty. Jon became a well-respected commander of the Night's Watch. Meanwhile, Daemon was the commander of the City Watch of King's Landing, and he totally thrived in that position. Then after taking Winterfell back, Jon was named the King of the North.
The King in the North! The King in the North!
And by defeating the crab feeder, Daemon was named the King of the Stepstones and the Narrow Sea.
Once we smash the Triarchy, they name me King of the Narrow Sea.
To add a point, Jon being a Targaryen got to ride Rhaegal, a dragon named after his father. And Daemon, as we know, is already a dragon rider and has claimed huge victories riding atop Caraxes.
Where are you?
Oh, and yes, they've also been involved in incest. Daemon does it with his niece Rhaenyra, and Jon did it with his auntie Daenerys. This is where their similarities come to an end. Now let's talk about the major differences between these two. Daemon has a good heart towards his family, but for the others, not so much. He is loyal to his family members, and even to King Viserys upon to a certain degree. He has mostly done things that would only benefit him, but there have been certain instances where he thought of the ones he loved as well. Still, there's a sinister side that goes along with his good side. He killed his first wife. He didn't comfort his children after the demise of Laena Velaryon. But right after Rhaenyra needed him the most, he did show his genuine support. In fact, he even orchestrated the gruesome murder of Sir Laenor Velaryon when Rhaenyra suggested it. Daemon craved power right from the beginning, but he initially curbed his desire out of respect for his brother. Although that will not be the case anymore. Another character trait is that Daemon is a pretty violent man, while Jon doesn't choose violence. He is tactically smarter, but Daemon is much more reckless and careless. There's no denying that Daemon is the best there is when he is devoted, but he does show off, and that could make him distracted. While Daemon had a lust for power, Jon never did. Despite being heir to the throne, he bent his knee.
I don't want it.
He supported Daenerys on her crusade, right to the moment where she lost it and went all Mad Queen. Daemon is someone who wants to rule with fear, and he wants Rhaenyra to do the same. But Jon Snow doesn't support this notion at all. He knew in his heart that this isn't the way, and he went to great lengths to stop Dany and do what's right. He wasn't afraid of killing his own love for the sake of others. Self-sacrifice is a virtue that runs very strongly within him, as he has always fought for others. So all in all, Jon is righteous and noble and doesn't crave power. Meanwhile, Daemon is ruthless and can be the total opposite. So now, it is time for the final showdown. Jon Snow versus Daemon Targaryen. In a death battle, it would actually be very hard to determine one true winner between these two. The result will obviously depend upon the writer because both of them are evenly matched. Having lived longer, Daemon is obviously the more experienced one. He is a skilled fighter, but so is Jon. And you could argue that Jon has been in battles where the danger was far greater than anything Daemon has faced. So his battle experience should be counted as equal to that of Daemon, if not greater. But while Jon might show mercy at times, Daemon may not. So in that way, Daemon could trick Jon and have the last laugh. And let me say that if Viserys decides to send reinforcements, then Daemon would definitely win. But other than that motivation, he can be careless and overconfident at times. And that's what Jon could exploit. So till now, we've given 1 point to Jon and 1 to Daemon. Another minor advantage that Daemon could have is his Dark Sister blade. It is much lighter than Longclaw and could prove to be more effective as Daemon's movement would be swift. But as I've mentioned, Jon is tactically smarter. So if given time, he could come up with a plan that would ensure his victory. That's 2 for Jon and 2 for Daemon. But if we include dragons into the mix, then Jon's dragon Rhaegal is certainly weaker than Caraxes. So that point would go to Daemon. The Rogue Prince surely gets more points here, and you could call him the winner. But I personally support Jon and his virtues. And with the kinds of enemies and challenges that he has faced, I'd say that he can take Daemon down if he goes all in. As I said, the result of this battle would depend upon the one writing it, and I'd shift it towards Jon because of his righteousness over Daemon's ruthless anarchy. And who knows, with the upcoming Jon Snow spin-off series, his adventures would allow us to back his claims even more. But who would you guys choose? Would it be Daemon or Jon? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to poke those like and subscribe buttons if you enjoyed this video. Goodbye, and I'll see you in the next one.